So I was inspired by Mike Deakin's journal that he did, and I decided to try and make one for myself. I like the size, and I like that we're going to be able to play around with lots of different design options in it. So the first thing I did was I took watercolor paper and I cut it down to 6 by 6 inch squares. And then we're going to take and we're going to score all of them in half so that we can fold them. And I took and I did 12 6 by 6 squares. So we'll have a book that'll have 12 pages in it. And all I'm doing is just scoring it from corner to corner, right down the middle. And as you can see, you gotta just do your best. So I'll be back when I have them all scored. Alright, I'm back. I've got everything scored. Now we want to fold it on that score line. It's going to take a little convincing because that watercolor paper is so thick and heavy. Use your bone folder to really press it down. If you get a little bit of cracking along the spine, it's not anything I worry too much about because we're going to be gluing things together and then reinforcing that spine, so it'll be just fine in the end. Alright, so I'm going to go through and get everything folded on those score lines, and then I will be back to show you how to start assembling it. Alright, I'm back and we're ready to start assembling. Now, I like to use the Yoo-Hoo glue sticks. I find that the glue is the strongest as far as glue sticks go. It's nice to work with, it's not overly wet, so it doesn't make your paper soggy, and it holds really, really well. So you're going to cover one side of your triangle. I'm working on my glass mat because it's easy for cleanup. Make sure you're coming right out to your edges. Give that a good cover. You'll take your next triangle, and I always like to just fold this so that when I'm matching up my triangle pieces, I put them flat on the table, match up my corners to corners, fold it down, and give it a good press. And give it a minute to kind of start grabbing and holding. And then what I often will do while that's drying is take something heavy, like your munchies, just to hold that down so the glue has a chance to set up. And I move on to my next duo. And again, I just make sure you're out to those outside edges, give everything a good coating, fold it up, line it up with my next piece. Everything looks good. And get it all stuck down. And I don't worry too much. I don't know if you can see that you know, sometimes they don't line up, the edges don't line up 100%. It's something I don't worry about. By the time you're done journaling and you've got all your inks and pastes and pictures and everything glued on there, you're not even going to notice if those pages are 100% lined up perfectly or not. That's what I love about this particular project, is that it kind of allows for those imperfections. Now, if you don't have a glue stick, you can use any other kind of glue. Any liquid glue will work. Just be aware that it's gonna, a wet glue is going to make your paper wet. One of the other things that I do like to use is, I like the Deakin 3-in-1. I call this hot glue and cold glue format. It's nice and thick, so it doesn't tend to make your paper soggy. And again, you're going to make sure you come right in along that spine with it. Make sure those outside edges get covered. And then coat your inside. The key is just don't be shy with your glue. You want to make sure everything is adhered well and adhered thoroughly. That's your bigger thing. And it's done just the same way. You're going to just make sure all those edges line up. And I like this particular glue because it holds and grabs really, really fast. So once I have all my pairs glued together, I will be back. Alright, so I'm back. I've got everything glued in partners, and now we're going to glue the partners to each other and create the bones of our book. So we'll take and make some more, put some more glue down on these single pages, and you'll glue the single page from the first pair to a single page on the second pair. I just fold everything up, make sure everything's lined up good, feels good. And then I'll take and I'll glue this single page and adhere it to a single page on the next partner. Lining up my corners, lining up my spine. Yeah, everything looks good. Okay, so it doesn't take long to get those partners all glued together. The thing I like about this book is basically in an hour, start to finish, that's cutting time, scoring time, gluing time, you can have a book made and be ready to start your art journal. And you could do this as circular pages, you could do this as triangular pages, basically whatever inspires you in the moment. The the last partner getting glued on here. Perfect. Now, one of the things once I get to this point that I like to do is I like to clip everything together just to help that glue set up in all those corners. So I just use a couple of big binder clips, one on each corner. I throw one in the middle, and then I bring one up on each corner up here, and then I just set that aside to dry. And while that's drying, then I like to work on my covers. So what I use for my cover is foam board. I get it at the dollar store, pay $1.25 or $1.50 for it, and I cut that into a 6-inch square, and then I cut it corner to corner into the triangles. And you can cover it in whatever kind of paper you would like to cover it in. I like using scrapbook paper, pattern paper, and adhere that on. And same thing, you can use your glue stick, you can use your Deakin, you can use white Elmer's glue, whatever adhesive you have at home. The only thing I don't like using to adhere this stuff with is double stick adhesive, just because with an art journal you are working with wet mediums a lot throughout, and if you've used a tape runner to adhere your papers together for your book, or used it even on your covers, there is a chance that that might let go as you're working. This piece will probably end up being my back cover, and I'll probably use this piece as my front cover because I'll have my book. Actually, I guess this will end up having to be my back cover. This will be my front cover just because of how it will. No, this will be my front cover. So I'm going to just continue to glue these together, and then I will be back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. My card got messed up or something. It just gave up the ghost and stopped recording, so I lost a bunch of footage. So what I did is I covered my foam board covers with my pattern paper, and I poked a hole in each of the covers, and on the front cover I adhered a button with some elastic, and I put glue over the elastic and then a piece of duct tape over top while the glue was drying. And I did the same thing on the back cover. I just made a loop, tied it off, glued it down, duct taped it to hold it until the glue was all dry and set. And then on the spine of the book, I took and put some more glue along that spine just to help reinforce the spine, just in case things didn't stay adhered as well as we'd like. And then I covered it in duct tape just to hide the glue and hide the spine and just give it kind of a fun look and feel. So now I'm going to come in and I am going to trim off, I'll probably just use scissors, I guess, trim off the excess duct tape. So I'm just going to take that off those ends because we don't need it there. Don't you hate it when technology stops working and doing what it's supposed to do? Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to take my glue, make sure I've got my front of my book, and this is going to be the front cover. Again, you can use whatever kind of glue you have, whether it's white Elmer school glue, a glue stick. Again, my favorite is this Deakin 3-in-1 or a Fabri-Tac glue. They're my favorites to work with. They hold fast and they're permanent. I like that it doesn't bleed through the paper and make the paper feel wet like a school glue can. So we're just going to give that a good glue down. And we're going to adhere that onto that front triangle. And while we're working on the other side, I'll take and just use a couple of little binder clips just to hold things in place, extra fingers so that nothing shifts while I'm gluing the back piece in place. Alright, and then we'll do the same thing on the back cover. Oh, just about out of glue. And again, I'll just come in, make sure everything's all lined up. Some more clips on just to help hold everything in place for a minute while that glue sets up and dries. Alright, so then that's your book done, and you'll be able to keep it closed with that elastic. And so you can take and you can create a layout, a art journal page on the first one. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pages that you can create layouts on. Just want to hold that in there just another second or two while it's setting up still. But it's a cute little book to create 12 art journal layouts in. One of the things I really like about this is that I think when I'm creating in this little book, I'm going to turn my book every time I create a new page. So I might do page 1 going this way, and then the second page I think I might turn it and create more of a square page. And every time I do a layout, I'll just rotate my book 90 degrees, which will be really, really fun. So that when you're looking through it, when it's all finished, it'll be a very interactive look and feel to it. So looks like things are starting to hold, so we'll take those clips off. Like I said, that glue grabs real nice and fast, holds well. So there's my book finished, done up. And then something I'll do overnight, just because I find paper always needs just an extra little bit of love after it's been folded, is I'll put it under something heavy and let it dry overnight. That way I know all the glue and everything will be adhered well for when I go to create my first layout in there. And it gives the paper a chance to relax as well after being freshly folded. So you guys have a good day. Let me know if you create one of these yourselves. Bye-bye.